Captain Ta Kim was having a normal morning on the International Space Station. The coffee from the special space machine floated in a ball in front of him. He grabbed it with a special straw and took a sip. The taste was not great, but it was better than nothing. "Captain Kim, you need to see this." Officer Min's voice was shaking. Tay turned to look at the main screen. A giant ship had appeared near Earth. No, not one ship. Hundreds. Maybe thousands. Where did they come from? Tai asked, his voice calm even though his heart was racing. "They just appeared, sir. 1 minute our scans showed nothing, and the next." Min pointed at the screen. "They're everywhere." The biggest ship was moving closer to the space station. It was huge, at least 10 times bigger than any ship humans had ever built. It was dark gray with strange purple lights. It looked like a giant space bug. "They're sending a message," said Officer Min. "Should I put it on the screen?" Ta nodded. He finished his coffee and prepared himself for what might be the most important moment in human history. The screen changed. A tall alien with purple skin appeared. Its head was big and round like a balloon. It had 4 eyes, 2 big ones and 2 small ones. When it opened its mouth, Ta could see 2 rows of sharp teeth. "People of Earth," the alien said in perfect English, "I am High Commander Draxus of the Vosik Armada. We have watched your planet for many years. We have decided your time as a free world is over. You will join our empire immediately." Ta looked at the officers around him. They were all frozen in fear. "You have 48 hours to surrender completely," Draxus continued. "If you refuse, we will destroy your major cities one by one until you change your mind. This is not a negotiation. This is your only warning." The screen went black. The room was quiet for a long time. Finally, Ta spoke. "Get me Earth Command." Dr. Hanpark was in his lab in Seoul when his computer beeped. It was a priority message from the space station. When he saw Ta's face on the screen, he smiled. "Ta, my old friend, how is space?" "Not good, Han. We have visitors." Ta's face was serious. "Alien visitors. They want Earth to surrender in 48 hours or they'll attack." Han's smile disappeared. "Are you joking?" "I wish I was. They have thousands of ships. Their technology is way beyond ours. If they attack, we can't stop them." Han thought for a moment. "What does Earth Command say?" "They're panicking. Some want to fight. Some want to surrender. Most are just scared." "And what do you think we should do?" Ta sighed. "I don't know. Fighting seems hopeless, but surrendering to aliens we know nothing about." Han suddenly smiled. "You know, this reminds me of the Imjin War." "The what?" "The Japanese invasion of Korea in 1592. We were outnumbered and outmatched in technology. But Admiral Yi Sun-sin used their pride against them. He made them think we were weak, then surprised them." Ta frowned. "I don't see how ancient history helps us with aliens." "Because," Han's eyes sparkled with an idea, "sometimes the best way to fight isn't with guns, but with minds. These aliens expect us to be either scared or violent. So what if we're neither?" "What are you suggesting?" "I need to make some calls. But tell Earth Command to wait. Don't respond to the aliens yet." "What are you going to do?" Han grinned. "Something the aliens will never expect. They want Earth to surrender. Let's show them how humans really respond to bullies." Ta knew that look. Han had a crazy plan. But right now, crazy might be their only hope. "You have 47 hours, Ta said. "Make them count." "Oh, I will," Han replied. "Trust me, Ta. By the time I'm done, these aliens will wish they'd never heard of Earth." 6 hours after the alien message, Dr. Hanpark stood in a large meeting room in Seoul. The room was not filled with the people you might expect during an alien invasion. There were no generals with serious faces, no scientists with complex plans, no world leaders making big speeches. Instead, the room was full of comedians, artists, and people who made funny videos on the internet. Thank you all for coming so quickly, Han said. I know this seems strange. Sun Li raised her hand. She was famous across Asia for her funny videos that made fun of powerful people. Strange is an understatement, Dr. Park, she said. The world is about to end, and you've gathered a bunch of joke makers. Han smiled. The world is not going to end. Not if we use our greatest weapon. And what's that? Someone asked. Humor, Han said simply. Laughter. Mockery. The room got quiet. People looked at each other with confused faces. The aliens expect us to be scared, Han continued. They want us to beg or fight back with our weak weapons. But what if we do something they don't expect? What if we laugh at them? Ji-yoon stood up. She worked in military psychological operations, finding ways to break enemy morale without firing a shot. Dr. Park is right, she said. I studied how to break an enemy's will to fight. Pride is always the weak spot. These aliens think they're superior. Their message was full of pride and power. If we attack that pride, we might confuse them enough to buy more time. People started nodding. The idea was crazy, but it made a strange kind of sense. So what's the plan? Sun asked. Han pointed to a large screen that showed the alien commander, Draxus. First, we need to understand them. What makes them tick? What would embarrass them? Ji-yoon's team will analyze everything about their message. Their body language, their tone, their ships. Jay nodded. My team is already working on it. These aliens are very formal. They care a lot about looking powerful and scary. And they clearly expect us to be afraid. That gives us something to work with. While they do that, Han continued, I need the rest of you to start creating content. Funny videos, songs, memes, anything that makes these aliens look silly instead of scary. Woo Kim, a famous comedian, raised his hand. You want us to make fun of the aliens who can destroy our planet. Exactly, Han said. The scarier the bully, the more important it is to laugh at them. The room was quiet again. Then Sun Li stood up. I'm in, she said. I spent my career making fun of people who think they're better than everyone else. These space bullies are no different. One by one, others joined in. Soon, the whole room was buzzing with ideas. Remember, Han said, we have less than 42 hours now. Work fast. Be funny. And most importantly, be fearless. In space, Captain Ta Kim received a message from Han. We're forming a response team, Han's message said. But I need you to do something important. We need more information about these aliens. Ta looked at the alien ships through the station window. What kind of information? Anything. How their ships move. How they communicate with each other. Any weaknesses. Ta thought for a moment. There is something. Their ships keep changing position, but they always stay in perfect formation. It's like they're showing off. Han's face lit up on the screen. That's exactly what I'm looking for. They care about appearances. Keep watching, Ha. Find more. Ta nodded. Earth Command won't like this plan, Han. They're still discussing surrender terms. Then we'll work faster than they can surrender, Han replied. The Committee of Mockery is just getting started. As the call ended, Ta looked again at the alien fleet. For the first time since they appeared, he felt a small spark of hope. Maybe, just maybe, laughter really could save the world. The Committee of Mockery worked nonstop. In a large room in Seoul, screens showed the alien message playing over and over. Ji-yoon and her team watched every second, looking for anything useful. Play it again, Ji said, staring at High Commander Draxus. Slow down the part where he talks about destroying Earth's cities. The video slowed. Everyone watched carefully. There, Ji pointed at the screen. Did you see that? Sun Li leaned closer. See what? His skin changed color for a second. When he threatened Earth, his purple skin got a bit darker. Dr. Han Park nodded. Good catch. What does it mean? Ji tapped her notes. I think they communicate not just with words, but with color changes too. And look at his 4 eyes. The small ones blinked when he was trying to sound scary. The big ones didn't. So he was trying too hard. Sun asked. Exactly. G smiled. He's putting on a show. Like a small dog barking very loud to seem big. Han turned to another team. What about their ships? A young analyst named Jun pointed to another screen. They're all shiny and decorated with strange symbols. No human warship looks like that. We keep our ships simple. These aliens want their ships to look scary. And the way they appeared, added another analyst. They could have just shown up near the moon. Instead, they spread out around Earth where everyone could see them. Sun laughed. So they're show-offs. They care more about looking powerful than actually being smart. Exactly, Han said. And that's where we can hit them. In another room, Woo Kim was trying on a costume. It was a bad copy of the alien commander, with a big balloon head painted purple and 4 fake eyes. How do I look? He asked, his voice muffled inside the costume. Ridiculous, Sun said. Perfect. Wu practiced walking in the bulky costume. So I'll be the face of Earth's response. Yes, Han said. You'll read our message. But first, we need to make them watch it. A young computer expert named Jun Park joined them. I think I can help with that. Their communication system is advanced, but it has patterns. I've been studying the signals between their ships. Can you hack into it? Han asked. Jun smiled. Not exactly. But I can make sure our message gets through, and maybe even play it on all their screens at once. Good, Han said. Now we need the perfect message. Up in the space station, Captain Ta Kim was recording everything the alien ships did. He noticed something interesting. Han, are you seeing this? He said over the video call. Han looked at the footage Ta sent. The alien ships were moving in a strange pattern. Every 3 hours, they change formation, Tai explained. It's like a military parade. They're showing off their discipline and wasting fuel and time, Han noted. That's useful. There's more, Ta said. When Earth ships get close to observe them, they immediately send out smaller ships to look more impressive. They really care what we think of them. Han smiled. That's perfect, Ta. Keep watching. Back in Seoul, the committee was working on their response. People were editing videos, writing jokes, and creating images that made the aliens look silly instead of scary. We have 24 hours left, Han announced. Let's bring it all together. Sun showed her work. She had taken the alien commander's serious message and added funny sound effects. When Draxus said, surrender, there was a squeaky toy noise. When he tried to look scary, cartoon eyes appeared on screen. It makes him look like a joke, she explained. Not a threat. Ji-yoon nodded in approval. This is good psychological warfare. If they care so much about appearance, this will really bother them. But will it stop them from attacking? Someone asked. Han looked serious. I don't know, but I know this. If we surrender, we lose everything. If we fight with weapons, we lose everything. This way, we at least have a chance. And Wu added from inside his alien costume, if the world is going to end, at least we'll go out laughing. Everyone agreed. Earth's unusual defense plan was ready. Now they just had to hope the aliens had never faced the power of human mockery before. The time was almost up. In just 1 hour, the 48-hour deadline would end. The alien ships hadn't moved, but everyone on Earth could feel them waiting. In the big meeting room in Seoul, the Committee of Mockery made final preparations. Woo Kim stood in his purple alien costume, practicing his lines one last time. Remember, Han said to everyone, once we send this, there's no going back. The aliens might attack right away, or they might be so confused they don't know what to do. Sun added hopefully. Ji-yoon checked her watch. Earth Command is still arguing about whether to surrender. We need to send our response before they decide. Han nodded. Jun, are you ready? Jun Park sat at a computer with many screens. Ready. I can send our message to all their ships at once. And I added a little surprise. He smiled. They won't be able to turn it off for at least 5 minutes. Good. Han looked at Wu. Are you ready? Wu adjusted his big purple head costume. Ready as I'll ever be. Then let's do this. On the biggest alien ship, High Commander Draxus watched Earth through a large window. His second-in-command, Officer Krell, stood beside him. The humans have only 1 hour left, Krell said. Do you think they will surrender? Of course, Draxus said. They are primitive. They have no choice. Suddenly, all the screens on the ship turned on by themselves. The aliens looked around in confusion. What is happening? Draxus demanded. Someone is sending a signal to all our ships, an alien technician said. We can't stop it. On every screen, a strange figure appeared. It looked like a bad copy of Draxus, with a big purple head and 4 wobbly eyes. Greetings, scary space bugs, the figure said in a silly voice. I am not Commander Draxus, and I love to make empty threats. Draxus's skin turned dark purple with anger. What is this? The fake Draxus on screen continued. We, the people of Earth, have considered your kind offer to surrender, and we've prepared a detailed response explaining our position. The fake Draxus then started dancing to loud music. Behind him, text scrolled across the screen simply saying no in many Earth languages. Turn it off, Draxus shouted. We can't, sir, the technician said. The signal is locked in. The video continued. Now it showed Draxus's original message, but with funny noises added. When Draxus threatened Earth, a squeaky toy sound played. His serious face had silly drawings added to it. Then the video showed the alien ships, but they were edited to look like rubber ducks floating in space. As you can see, the fake Draxus said, we take your threat very seriously, so seriously that we've written a song about it. Music started playing. Human voices sang a simple, catchy tune about space bullies with balloon heads. Back on Earth, the committee watched the alien ships through telescopes and satellite images. They're not moving, Tag reported from the space station. I think they're in shock. Han smiled. Good. Now for part 2. Jun pressed more buttons on his computer, sending it now. On the alien ship, a new video appeared. This one showed millions of humans around the world. They weren't hiding in fear. They were having parties. They were wearing purple alien masks and dancing. They were laughing. What is this? Krell asked. Why aren't they afraid? Draxus had no answer. In his 300 years of commanding the Vosik Armada, he had never seen anything like this. Planets were supposed to surrender or fight back, not make fun of him. The screens finally went dark. The ship was quiet. Sir, Krell asked, what do we do now? The deadline is almost here. Draxus's mind was racing. Their weapons were ready. They could start destroying Earth's cities as planned. But something felt wrong. The humans should be afraid. Why weren't they afraid? Send them a new message, Draxus finally said. Explain in more detail what will happen if they don't surrender. Make it clear we are serious. Yes, sir, Krell said. But he noticed that Draxus's skin had turned a light blue color, the color of confusion. For the first time, the mighty Vosik Armada didn't know what to do next. High Commander Draxus paced back and forth on the bridge of his ship. The 48-hour deadline had passed. His officers watched him, waiting for orders. They are just humans, Draxus said. Primitive creatures. They should be begging for mercy. Officer Krell approached carefully. Sir, our new message is ready. It gives more details about how we will destroy their cities. Send it, Draxus ordered. The message was sent to Earth. This time, Draxus listed exactly which cities would be destroyed first. He described the weapons they would use. He spoke slowly and clearly so the primitive humans would understand. "Now they will take us seriously," Draxus said. On Earth, the Committee of Mockery received the new alien message within minutes. "They sound angry," Joan said. "I think we got to them." Han, Sun, and Jay watched the new threat. Draxus's skin was a deeper purple than before. His voice was louder. He seemed to be trying extra hard to be scary. "He's overcompensating," G said. "Our plan is working. He's not used to being laughed at." "So what do we do now?" Sun asked. Han smiled. "We keep going. How fast can we respond?" Sun looked at her team. "Give us 1 hour." Exactly 1 hour later, the aliens received Earth's second response. This time, it was a singing message. A cartoon version of Draxus appeared on their screens, dancing and singing about how scary he was. The song was simple and catchy, like a children's song. "Look at me, I'm Commander Draxus. I have a big head and I make big threats. But nobody's scared. Oh, nobody's scared, because balloon heads can't hurt us." On the bridge of the alien ship, Draxus watched in horror. His officers tried not to look at him. "Is this how humans prepare for war?" he asked. "With songs." Krell checked the reports coming in. "Sir, humans around the world are sharing these videos. They're making more of them. They're turning you into something called a meme." "A what?" "A joke that spreads quickly. They're not afraid, sir. They're entertained." Draxus slammed his fist on a control panel. "Then we'll show them they should be afraid. Prepare to destroy their first city as we planned." "Yes, sir," Krell said. But he noticed something strange in the reports. "Sir, according to our spies, some humans are holding parties." "Parties?" "Yes, they call them end-of-the-world parties. They're dressing up like us and dancing. They're making fun of our uniforms and ships." Draxus couldn't believe what he was hearing. In 3,000 years of conquering planets, no species had ever responded like this. In Seoul, Han received a message from Captain Ta. "The aliens are moving some of their ships," Ta said. "I think they're getting ready to attack." Han nodded. "We expected this. Is our surprise ready?" "Yes. The moment they fire, everyone on Earth will see it." Han turned to the committee. "They're going to attack soon. Probably a small target first, to show they're serious. When they do, we move to Phase 3. "Are you sure this will work?" someone asked. "No," Han admitted. "But think about it. These aliens have conquered many worlds. Every planet probably either fought back or surrendered. But I bet none of them ever laughed at the Vosik. We're doing something they've never seen before." Jay nodded. "In psychological warfare, confusion is a powerful weapon. Right now, they don't know what to do with us." The room fell quiet as everyone watched the alien ships on the big screen. "Get ready," Han said. "The real test is coming." On the alien ship, Draxus gave the order. "Fire on the small island as planned. Show them we are serious." A beam of light shot down from one of the smaller ships. A tiny, uninhabited island in the Pacific Ocean exploded in a flash of light. "Now," Draxus said, "we wait 1 hour. Let them see what we can do. Then we'll ask again for their surrender." But deep inside, Draxus felt uneasy. Something wasn't right about these humans. Why weren't they afraid? What did they know that he didn't? For the first time in his long career, High Commander Draxus felt uncertain. The small island exploded in a bright flash. The aliens had shown their power. Now, surely, the humans would be afraid. But Earth's response came just 10 minutes later. On all the screens of the alien ships, a new video appeared. It showed a small park in Seoul. A large crowd had gathered around something covered with a sheet. A man in a fancy suit was giving a speech. "Today," the man said, "we honor the great alien commander who bravely destroyed an empty island where nobody lived. Truly, a mighty warrior." The crowd clapped politely. "And now," the man continued, I present the Draxis Memorial Toilet. The sheet was pulled away to reveal a public toilet. It was painted purple with 4 eye-shaped windows. A sign above it said, "The Draxis" in big letters. The crowd cheered and laughed. A line formed of people waiting to use the toilet. On the alien ship, Draxis washed with his mouth open. His skin turned almost black with rage and embarrassment. "They named a waste facility after me," he said in a low voice. Krell didn't know what to say. None of the officers did. This had never happened before. "Sir," one officer finally said, "we're getting reports from all over Earth. They're naming other toilets after our other commanders. They're having toilet naming ceremonies." In the committee's headquarters, everyone cheered as they watched the alien ships through satellite feeds. "They're not moving," Tay reported from the space station. "I think they're in shock." Han smiled. "Then it's time to push harder." "Sun, is your team ready with the next part?" Sun nodded. "Ready. We worked all night on it." June tapped on his keyboard. "Sending now." This time, the aliens received what looked like a serious educational video. It was titled Vosic Fashion Disasters, a history of galactic embarrassment. A calm voice began. "Today we examine the poor fashion choices of the Vosic Armada, whose ships and uniforms clearly show they're trying too hard to seem scary." The video showed detailed breakdowns of the alien uniforms, with helpful arrows pointing to different parts. "Note the oversized shoulder pieces," the voice said. "Classic sign of insecurity. And the excessive armor plating here and here, obviously compensating for something." The video then moved on to their ships. The unnecessary spikes and dark colors are a desperate cry for attention. A truly confident species would not need such flashy designs. Draxis could not believe what he was seeing. The humans had taken everything the Vosic were proud of, their uniforms, their ships, their military bearing, and turned it all into a joke. "This is an insult to our entire species," he shouted. But the video wasn't done. Now it showed clips from the alien threat message with fashion commentary. Here we see High Commander Draxis attempting to look intimidating, but his outfit is so last galaxy. The head-to-body ratio is all wrong, and that skin tone does nothing for his complexion. The mockery continued all day. Earth sent cartoon shows where baby versions of the aliens had temper tantrums. They sent psalm parodies about space bullies who need hugs. They even created ads selling Draxis head balloons for children's parties. And through it all, humans continued their lives. They weren't hiding in bunkers. They were going to work, having meals with friends, and sharing alien jokes. June and his team even managed to hack into the aliens' internal communication system. They replaced the serious alien military music with Earth children's songs. They put funny faces on the aliens' computer screens. "They still have the power to destroy us," Jai reminded everyone. "Don't forget that." Han nodded. "Yes, but every hour they don't attack is a victory." They expected fear, and they got laughter. They don't know what to do next. The committee watched the alien ships on the big screen. They were still not moving. "What if they just decide to destroy us anyway?" someone asked. "All this mockery might just make them angrier." "It's possible," Han admitted. "But think about it. If they destroy us now, after all this mockery, what would that say about them? They would look weak to the entire galaxy." Sun smiled. "So either they leave and look weak, or they destroy us and still look weak." "Exactly," Han said. "And from what we've seen, looking weak is the one thing the Vosic can't stand." The fate of Earth now rested on one question. Was alien pride stronger than alien anger? 3 days had passed since the aliens first appeared. Their deadline had come and gone. They had destroyed one small, empty island, but they had not attacked any cities yet. On the main alien ship, things were not going well. The ship's halls were quiet. Officers spoke in whispers. No one wanted to talk to Commander Draxis, who stayed in his private room most of the time. Officer Krell had to give the daily report. He knocked on Drax's door, feeling nervous. "Enter," Draxus said in a flat voice. Krell found his commander sitting in the dark, watching Earth videos on a small screen. Humans everywhere were making fun of the Vosik. They had songs about them. They had jokes. They had games where children hit balloons shaped like alien heads. "Sir," Krell said carefully, "the troops are asking for orders. Should we attack a human city as planned?" Draxus didn't look up. "Do you know what I discovered, Krell? The humans are selling toys of me. Small children are playing with little Draxus dolls." "Yes, sir. It's disrespectful. It's more than that." Draxus finally looked at Krell. His skin was a pale blue, the color of deep worry. "In 300 years of commanding this fleet, I have destroyed 18 planets and conquered 42 others. Every species we ever met was afraid of us. But these humans, they're just primitive. Sir, they don't understand the danger." "No." Draxus shook his head. "They understand perfectly. That's what worries me. They're not afraid." "Why aren't they afraid, Krell?" In Seoul, the Committee of Mockery was working harder than ever. What had started as a desperate plan was now a global movement. People from every country were creating new ways to make fun of the aliens. Han looked at the latest reports with amazement. A Korean pop song about alien heads is #1 in 40 countries. Sun nodded proudly. "It's called Bulbous Head. The dance moves copy the aliens' stiff walking style." Ji-yoon studied the satellite images of the alien ships. "They're still not moving. Our plan is working better than we hoped." "But they could still attack at any moment," Han reminded everyone. "Don't forget that." Tae's face appeared on the big screen. He was still watching from the space station. "Han, we're seeing something interesting. The alien ships are talking to each other more than usual, and some smaller ships seem to be arguing with the main ship." "Arguing?" Han asked. "How can you tell?" "Their communication signals are getting messy, and some ships briefly break formation before going back in line. I think they're not all agreeing on what to do next." Han's eyes lit up. "That's it. They're divided. Some want to attack, some don't. Our Mockery is causing confusion in their ranks." On a smaller alien ship, 2 Vosik officers spoke quietly. "The humans aren't afraid," one said. "Have you ever seen anything like it?" "Never," the other replied. "Every planet we ever threatened either fought back or surrendered. None of them laughed at us. Do you think maybe we should leave? This doesn't feel right." "Careful. That's close to treason. Commander Draxus still wants to conquer this world." "But why?" "To rule over beings who think we're a joke." "How would that work?" Back on Earth, Ji-yoon explained the situation to world leaders who had finally stopped arguing about surrender. "Fear is their weapon," she said. "Laughter is ours. They don't know how to fight what they can't intimidate." The president of Korea listened carefully. "And you believe they might actually leave without attacking?" "It's possible," Ji said. "Their whole empire is built on fear. If word spreads that humans weren't afraid of them, other planets might also start to resist. So we keep mocking them. Yes, more than ever, we need to push them until they either attack or leave. And based on their behavior so far, I think leaving is becoming more likely." The president nodded. "Then tell the committee to continue. The whole world will help." As Jai left the meeting, she wondered if alien history books would someday tell the strange story of how Earth defeated the mighty Vosik Armada, not with weapons, but with jokes. 1 week had passed since the aliens arrived. Earth was still there. The alien ships still hung in the sky, but they hadn't attacked any more islands or cities. In the committee room, Han watched the latest creation with a smile. It was a cartoon show called Baby Draxus Adventures. It showed a baby version of the alien commander having temper tantrums when he couldn't get what he wanted. "This is genius, son," Han said. "Children all over the world are watching it." Sun nodded. "Kids love it. They're asking for Baby Draxus toys for their birthdays." Jai entered the room with new reports. Toy companies around the world are making baby Draxus dolls. They can't make them fast enough. Everyone wants one. Wu, who was still sometimes wearing his alien costume for videos, laughed. So now we've turned their scary commander into a children's toy. Exactly, Han said. And that might be the final push we need. On the main alien ship, Officer Krell entered Draxus's room with a worried look. Sir, we have a problem. Draxus looked up from his screen. He had been watching human broadcasts nonstop. His eyes were tired. What now? Our spies report that humans are putting images of you on baby diapers. On what? Diapers. The coverings that human babies wear before they learn to use waste facilities. Draxus's skin turned a gray color no one had seen before. They're putting my face on baby waste coverings. Yes, sir. And there's more. The Baby Draxus cartoon is the most popular show on Earth. Human children love it. They're asking for Baby Draxus toys and clothes. Draxus stood up suddenly. Enough. Prepare the fleet for departure. Krell was shocked. Departure. But sir, what about conquering Earth? Look at these humans, Krell. Draxus pointed at the screen showing children playing with Baby Draxus dolls. They've turned me into a joke. The mighty Vosik, feared across the galaxy, are now children's entertainment. How can we rule them? How can we make them do anything if they're not afraid of us? We could destroy some cities to show them. No, Draxus cut him off. It's too late. Even if we destroyed half their planet, they would make jokes about it. They would name more toilets after us. They would create more songs. He shook his head. Our whole empire depends on fear. Without it, we have nothing. Captain Tai noticed it first from the space station. Han. He called urgently. The alien ships are moving. In Seoul, everyone gathered around the big screen. The thousands of alien ships were slowly moving away from Earth. Are they getting into attack position? Someone asked nervously. No, Ta said. They're leaving. They're actually leaving. The room exploded with cheers. People hugged each other. Some cried with relief. We did it. Sun asked, not quite believing it. They're really going. Han watched the screen carefully. It seemed so. Our plan worked even better than we hoped. On the alien ship, Draxus gave his final orders. Set course for home. Full speed. Sir, Krell said carefully, what will we tell the Emperor? He expected us to add Earth to our empire. Draxus looked at the blue planet one last time. Tell him that Earth is unsuitable for conquest. That the humans have a weapon we cannot fight. A weapon, sir. Yes. Draxus's skin turned a deep blue color of shame. They can make anyone look foolish, even the mighty Vosik. And you cannot rule over people who laugh at you. As the great alien fleet moved away from Earth, Draxus wondered how many other planets in their empire might learn what the humans had done. How many might start laughing at the Vosik instead of fearing them. Perhaps the greatest empire in the galaxy had just met the beginning of its end, defeated not by weapons, but by human humor. Back on Earth, celebrations began around the world. The aliens were leaving. Earth was safe. In Seoul, the committee members watched the ships disappear one by one. I can't believe it worked, Jun said. We saved the world with jokes. Han smiled. Never underestimate the power of mockery against pride. They could handle being hated or feared, but being laughed at, that was the one thing they couldn't stand. As the last alien ship vanished from Earth's sky, Sun raised her coffee cup. To the Committee of Mockery, the strangest defense force in human history. Everyone raised their cups, laughing and celebrating. Earth had faced its greatest threat and survived by refusing to take it seriously. 1 month after the aliens left, life on Earth was almost back to normal. Almost, but not quite. The world had changed. Humans now knew they were not alone in the universe. They knew there were other beings out there, some friendly and some not. In Seoul, a new museum opened. It was called the Committee of Mockery Museum. Inside, visitors could see the videos, songs, and jokes that had saved Earth. Wu's purple alien costume stood in the middle of the main room, now seen by thousands of people every day. Han, Sun, Ji, and Ta were special guests at the opening ceremony. People treated them like heroes. "I never thought I would be famous for making fun of aliens," Sun said as she looked at the big crowd. Han laughed. "None of us did. We were just trying to buy some time." The president of Korea gave a speech. "These brave people found a weapon stronger than any bomb: human laughter. They showed us that sometimes the best way to face a threat is to refuse to be afraid of it." After the ceremony, the friends walked through the museum. They stopped at a display showing all the baby Drax's toys that had been made. "I heard these are still selling out everywhere," Ji said. "Children love them." "And adults too," Tai added. He had finally come down from the space station. "I saw a famous movie star carrying one yesterday." They moved to another display. This one showed photos from around the world of alien-themed parties that people had held during the crisis. People dressed in purple, wearing balloon heads and laughing. "You know what I find most interesting?" Han said. "The aliens could have destroyed us at any time. They had the weapons. But in the end, they couldn't use them because we made them look silly." "Pride," Ji nodded. "It was their weakness all along." Later that evening, the four friends had dinner together at a small restaurant. They talked about what they would do next. "I'm going back to making funny videos," Sun said. "But now I'm famous, so more people will watch them." "I'm returning to psychological research," Ji said. "What happened with the aliens proves that emotions can be more powerful than weapons. I want to study that more." "And I'm heading back to space next week," Ta said. "Someone needs to keep an eye out there, just in case they come back." Han was quiet for a moment. "Do you think they will come back, I mean?" "I doubt it," Ji said. "Their whole power came from being feared. Once that was gone, they had nothing." "Besides," Sun added with a smile, "imagine trying to explain to their leaders how they were defeated by jokes and baby toys." They all laughed at the thought. 6 months later, Earth received a new message from space. It wasn't from the Vosik. It was from a different alien species called the Nari. Their ships were smaller and rounder. They looked friendly. "People of Earth," their leader said, "we have watched how you handled the Vosik threat. We are impressed. We come in peace and with a sense of humor. We would like to talk." The world leaders gathered to discuss this new contact. They invited Han, Sun, Ji, and Ta to join them. "What do you think?" the president of Korea asked. "Should we trust them?" Han looked at the new aliens on the screen. They seemed different from the Vosik. Their eyes were kind. Their ships weren't trying to look scary. "I think we should talk to them," Han said. "But let's keep our sense of humor ready, just in case." As humans prepared to meet their new galactic neighbors, toy stores around the world still couldn't keep baby Drax's dolls in stock. Children everywhere loved the funny alien with the big head who got angry when he didn't get his way. And somewhere far across the stars, the once mighty Vosik Empire was facing a problem they never expected. Other planets were starting to laugh at them too. The story of how Earth had defeated them with mockery had spread. As Han had known all along, there are some battles that cannot be won with weapons, but can certainly be lost to wit. Earth had taught the galaxy a new way to resist bullies. Don't fear them, laugh at them. And that might be humanity's greatest gift to the universe.